Womp! The gate closes behind you. You are in the Feywild. I see trees of not green.
I see trees of pink,
Oh, that does smell
grass
good.
of blue.
It's
Had a
home.
long time.
Lizard's bouncing around.
Blue.
Very happy, obviously. Trying to contain his excitement.
Neon too. Laughing to myself.
You are in a lightly wooded area. Again, all the grass and foliage and all that stuff is like shades of purple and pink. It's not a thick forested area. There are trees around you, but they are spaced well, I guess you could say. The sun easily breaks through the foliage above you, through the canopy, as it were.
Okay, if that's the case, then you guys will see Jarrell do something you've never seen her do before. Giant eagle. And I'm like noticeably just like as I right up out the trees and just noticeably like
Mister sits down, looks up. That's a neat trick. Kind of trying to keep an eye on him and watch him as much as I can.
kind of like just doing a lap just to see what I can see.
So, any general survival tips? Like, don't touch anything that's green, or...
Don't eat the snozberries.
Everything
Don't
is
kill
beautiful.
anything. Be very careful where you step. Even flowers here are important. I sniffle.
I named this one Steve.
And then I eat it.
It is my Steve.
All life is sacred,
That was
but Uncle is delicious.
that one wasn't a flower. That was a weed.
I feel so inward. It's a mushroom.
Mushroom.
So what do
They're
my
probably in a
bird?
spot that I don't recognize. The Fae is obviously pretty huge, so it's not
Yeah,
like
the
it was anywhere near
Feywild
where-
overlaps the world, so I mean it's the same size as the world. So
I don't know where we are, but it's good to be back.
What do my bird eyes see?
you again see it's lightly wooded area for several miles, followed by a large field. Off into the distance, you can see some of the Emerald Towers, which is where you knew where you believe you should be heading. You also make out, seems like there's a patrol of centaurs headed this way.
Ooh.
All right. So then I'll back into Jarrell form. Where do we need to go? That way. Are they coming from the towers?
Yeah, they're coming from the direction of the Emerald Towers, yep.
All right. Then I would be like, oh, we need to go that way, and there are some centaurs en route. So expect company. Very nice.
Fantastic.
Who does something nice? Why do you keep saying that?
If to alleviate any fears from the last time we had this conversation about Gaia killing somebody. Apparently this place instilled a lot of fear into some people.
I had a bad experience.
Do you have the DMG?
The Mugget?
In my car, what do you even know? I have it on my laptop right here.
No, I was gonna look up the axes properties.
Oh.
You told me what it was, but I didn't actually go look it up. Do you have the DMG on that?
3.5. I thought you wouldn't help that.
read monster manuals. All of them.
I don't have my tablet here, and I don't have it on the tablet anyway. I have a bunch of Unearthed Arcana and Elemental Evil stuff. But
A lot of weird stuff on that Google Drive. Turkey, ass, and meatballs.
+2 attack, +2 damage. Also has the following additional properties. It can only be used. It can't be used again until the next dawn, so basically it's once per day. Lightning. When you hit with a melee attack using the weapon, you can cause the target to take an extra 2d6 lightning damage.
Wow.
Thunder. When you hit with a melee attack using the weapon, you can cause the weapon to emit a crack of thunder. Audible out to 300 feet. Target you hit must succeed a DC 17 Constitution save or become stunned until the end of your next turn. 3 more to go. Lightning Strike. As an action, you can cause a bolt of lightning to leap from the weapon in a line 5 feet wide, 120 feet long. Any creature must make in the line must make DC 17 Dex save, or take 9d6 lightning damage, or half on a successful save.
cast lightning bolt.
Yeah, basically, yeah. Thunderclap. As an action, cause the weapon to issue a deafening thunderclap, audible out to 600 feet. Each creature within 60 feet of you, not including you, DC 17 con save. Failed save, creature takes 2d6 thunder damage and becomes deafened for 1 minute. Unsuccessful, half as much and not deafened. Then finally, thunder and lightning. You can use an action to use the lightning strike and thunderclap properties at the same time. Doing so doesn't expend the daily use of this property, only the use of this one. So basically, it's like an extra. You can either do them each. You can do them both once separately and both and once as a combo. Apparently.
Right.
Bird, yeah. Jarrell. Having entered the Feywild, you feel your staff getting all twitchy and tingly. You get that same sensation you did in that strange illusion that you had before, where you felt you get the familiar feeling of your staff awakening its true potential and its true power. You can feel the energy that it once had emanating up through your hand and up through your arm. And you once again feel confident that it is what it should have always been. And you now have your Staff of the Woodlands. Yes.
I don't even remember the stats, but yeah.
Well, it's on like the same page as what I was just reading. Staff of the Woodlands.
It's fun, I probably don't even need Shillelagh anymore.
+2 attack and damage. You also have +2 bonus to spell attack rolls while you're holding the staff. Has 10 charges. Regains 1d6 +4 a day. At dawn.
Took a lot of notes.
I'm not really bad at note taking.
Says you gave me the little notebook, and now I just doodle.
I gave you the notebook for taking notes, so you're like, no, I just doodle. Spells you can use as an action to expend one or more of the staff's charges to cast one of the following spells. Animal Friendship, 1 charge. Awaken, 5 charges. Barkskin, 2 charges.
Animal Friendship's 1.
Yep. Awakens 5. Barkskin 2. Locate animal or plant is 2. Speak with animals is 1. Speak with plants is 3. Or Wall of Thorns, which is 6.
What was the one before Wall of Thorns?
Speak with plants.
Speak with plants, and was
There
there-
was 3. Yeah.
what was before that?
Speak with animals, which was 1. So the total spell list is Animal Friendship, Awaken, Barkskin, Locate Animal or Plant, Speak with Animal, Speak with Plant, Wall of Thorns.
Wall of Thorns was 6.
Yes. Then you can also use as an action to cast the Pass Without Trace spell from the staff without using any charges. So basically at will, apparently, you can just pass without trace. And then it has the tree form ability, which you're somewhat familiar with. Tree form, you can, as an action, plant one end of the staff in fertile earth and expend 1 charge to transform the staff into a healthy tree. The tree is 60 feet tall and 1 foot in diameter, and its branches at the top spread out for a 20-foot radius. The tree appears ordinary, but radiates a faint aura of transmutation magic if targeted by detect magic. While touching the tree and using other action to speak its command word, you can return the staff to its normal form. Any creature in the tree falls when it reverts to a staff. I don't want anyone to find my staff. Tree. I'll be back for you.
Another 3,000 years.
No, I have the image of the adventurer like retiring and planting his staff in the backyard. And like, okay, well, I have to go out and do stuff again. So then he goes out to the tree and turns it back.
Could also be used for like, I need a better vantage point. Let me plant my staff real quick so I can climb up this tree and take a look. Or you know what? It's really sunny out. I need some shade.
We need firewood.
No!
Still recording.
All right.
Okay. You have your bearings for where you need to head, presumably. Centaurs are en route.
Centaurs are en route.
I like centaurs.
Yeah, they're your best friends is a centaur.
Well, we should meet them, perhaps get an escort.
Do you just start heading in that direction?
Yeah, drills.
Not on my own, but like,
Yeah.
I think we should get going.
They may know of me.
You had a mentor.
Alnude.
Let's see. Might be around this area.
Maybe. Probably not. I'd recognize. I mean, I'm sure I've heard of the Emerald Towers, but knowing where we are, it's probably nowhere near where I would have been.
So yes, you all head towards the Emerald Tower, you're heading in that direction. Eventually you do see the centaurs in the distance closing in on you. They are headed here full bore. Full horse, depending on how you look at it. Waka waka.
Well,
Keep approaching until we collide. Meet.
I think there should be a point where we stop
yes.
and we're not looking for any sort of fight.
Okay, so you all halt your travels. Are you going to, like, just stand there and wait for them to close in on you? Or are you going to rest? Or are you going to make a white flag out of your underwear?
I think if we, maintain a relaxed, non-threatening position and just kind of wait their arrival.
Wait for them to approach us.
Okay. You notice it is a group of 7 centaurs, one kind of traveling in basically almost like a V formation, with one at the lead that looks like it's wearing some extra decorative flares on between its hide armor and its face paint. They all have like face paint. As they close in on you, or as they stop before you, I should say, they all have long bows and spears on their person. They're all carrying like spears, and they'll have like long bows over their back, quivers. Some of them have some like saddles with some extra gear on them. Halt, pollutants!
Greet them in Fae.
Sylvan,
Sylvan.
as will I.
You speak our tongue, they say in Sylvan back.
I'll reply, I am Jarrell Magnuson, Fey friend. I will reach into my thing and pull out that.
And I am Wizard Snowfang, raised in the Fae, trained by Alnu, the great centaur of the north. We are not pollutants.
I'm gonna cast tongues myself.
Okay.
You start growing tongues all over you. You can taste the air. It's very strange.
I will tell them that I have come to speak with Gaia. It is most urgent. And Gaia will know me.
We can bring you back to the towers, but I know of Alnud. I don't know of you. I recognize your talisman. He gestures towards Drill as he says that. I do not bring anyone straight to Gaia. I cannot bring anyone straight to Gaia, but I can bring you to my superiors and we can go from there.
I'm an emissary of the goddess Cern. We come to beseech Gaia for their aid.
Alright. So you're all important.
She's a muscle.
No idea what's going on at all.
Yeah,
You pull out like the Cockney accent. I just want me some ale! Pollutant!
So yeah, this is all gibberish to you, and then you see the head centaur, kind of look over in your direction, look you up and down. He doesn't look impressed overall during the whole conversation. Then he says in a very, very bad, broken common, "You can ride us, we get you there, quick."
Mr. starts to get up.
I get the big one.
I really won't do that. Really? Ow! Get off, bear.
Yes, so the centaurs say they will bring you to the Emerald Towers, but that they cannot guarantee you any audience with anyone, and they will take you off. It takes a little while, but eventually you get there, just pass the time, nothing's really going to happen. You arrive at the Emerald Towers. There are lots of centaurs. There are lots of what the two of you would recognize as Eladrin. So elf people,
Satyrs.
satyrs, dryad. There's a couple dryads, not many. A couple dryads kicking about. Yeah. Lots of different Feywild walks of life. Pixies, fairies.
How long was the trip?
About a half a day.
Okay.
On horseback. Centaur back. Backpack. So this is a very, especially for Neria and for Tristan, a very fantastical kind of place. Definitely puts the Fae in fantasy. Even for you more hardened background characters, it is hard to not be in awe of just like the overall atmosphere and the beauty of everything, like all these different creatures all kind of like coexisting. And When you get to when you get to the Emerald City, there's mostly just Centaur guards. Occasionally, you see a Satyr guard.
I'll kind of look over Tristan and be like, "So, anything against these elves?"
You don't need to worry about anything.
Okay.
The Centaur guard at the main gate of the Emerald Tower begins speaking with the Centaur that is a part of the party that has brought you here. They have a little back and forth. The ride Centaur, the guys that you are riding, that party, your welcoming party, as it were, explains that this guy says he knows Alnud. This guy says, he knows Gaia. This guy says he's a, ambassador for some goddess, for the goddess of CERN. This chick's with them. They are seeking audience with Gaia. And the other Centaur just kind of scoffs at first. It's like, okay, we'll, bring him in. Report to your supervisor, I guess. And not my choice. I got nothing to do with that, but yeah, come on in. Let you through the gates. They bring you to this big garden that's inside one of the towers, and they, tell you guys can basically hang out here while they go and speak to others. You wait here for hours.
Jarrell waits for a lot. Maybe an hour.
Okay, an hour goes by.
Jarrell walks out of the garden.
Where are you going? Says one of the Satyr and Eladrin guards. Where do you think you're going?
I'm going to find someone who can get things done a little faster around here.
Look at this human over here thinking he's our stuff. Okay.
Then I'll be like, I'll have that one part of that one necklace like openly just like.
What are the three of you doing? Are you following Jarrell or are you hanging out?
I'm going to stay.
I'm gonna hang out. I figure I found a patch or something somewhere and probably napping.
How they stay as well. I don't know what's going on.
And since they didn't at least they seem like they're trying to stop you. I won't get up yet.
Well, what is this particular city like? I assume there's, unless are we in like some kind of garrison?
Yeah, it's more of like an outpost. It's not really like a city. It's some Emerald Towers, but it doesn't seem like it's like a populated city per se. It's just there's really just mostly just guards here, people that you would assume are the equivalent of their military. You're not familiar with any of these Emerald Towers. They didn't, to your knowledge, they didn't exist here. But when you were last visiting, as it were.
However long ago that was here. It's Feywild. It could have been yesterday.
So yeah, if you start to wander around, like they pretty much let you wander, but they all kind of give you a little bit of a hard time about it. But there's really not anywhere to go for the most part. They're not going to open like a lot of the inner sanctum again is mostly just like this giant garden, but there's lots of the tower itself is just basically one giant fortified wall. And anywhere that you try to wander off towards like any kind of structures is mostly like these locked doors or areas that seem like they're supposed to be rooms but don't seem to have a door. It's very, very odd. But they're not going to let you into any rooms. They're just going to give you a hard time the whole time. They said the way here. They said the way here. They said the way here. Where do you think you're going?
Continue to explore. I kind of want to get to know what this new Emerald Tower thing is, because if that's new, I need to pay attention to this.
Okay, sure. So you wander around for a little while longer. It does have like a spiraling ramp along like the outer wall. They let you wander up towards the top. At the top there is a large, actual, like, emerald gem with, like, an energy kind of, like, radiating off of it. You have detect magic, right?
Mm-hmm.
Would you like to use detect magic?
Oh, I would definitely like to, and kind of like passively
Yeah.
detect magicking as I'm walking around.
Yeah, it has a powerful, the abjuration magic coming from it.
Abjuration magic.
Defensive, protective
yeah.
stuff.
Defensive magic.
Yeah. With a hint of divination.
Okay. Is that really like the biggest magical thing I've noticed as I'm walking around?
Yeah, you haven't really noticed much for magical stuff at all. I mean, other than, like, the creatures themselves.
Alright, so I'll turn around and I'll start talking to one of the guards. I'll be like,
So, what are you trying to keep out?
We try to keep out as much as possible. Like, anything, everything. Frankly, we don't know how you guys got in, but...
No. With this.
Oh, yeah, that's what I'm saying. Yeah, we got these things all over the place now. We try to... It's one part keep things in, but it's 9 parts keep things out.
So, is this what detected our entrance?
Yes, yes, absolutely. Yeah, we have early warning systems now.
for
We
what?
had a bad experience about 10 or 15 years ago with some pollutants that got in here, and it turned into a big deal, and Gaia is still to this day remorseful for what he felt he needed to do, and to try to avoid that situation from happening again, we now have these little radars, beacons, defensive wards all over the Feywild.
Wise decision. I approve.
Yeah, otherwise you guys would have been wandering around here for God knows how long till you ran into somebody, that either probably murdered you or you ran into the right person that could actually help you. That's what happened last time. There was a lot of unnecessary casualties.
Yes, we had the opportunity to speak to one of those individuals who left here. At least I assume that's what it was.
You talked to one of the monsters?
Yes. Actually, we did.
Yeah, they just like... Woo. I heard stories. Heard stories.
Well,
I heard things!
she told us not to come here, and obviously we didn't listen to that one, did we?
Well, as long as she stays away.
I don't think you could bring her back here even if you wanted to.
No, and we don't.
I think you're both on the good side of things.
We don't really want any of you pollutants here, but, it happens. Whether we like it or not.
Yes.
You just have a tendency of coming in and messing up the place. You make things nice, and then unexpected guests show up. Just tear the place up.
Yes. Maybe you should brush up on your history a little bit. The
Okay.
Feywild and myself go back a long way. Longer than you have been alive.
You don't know that.
If
How old do you think I am?
how old do you think I am?
60.
That's a dog. I'm well over 3,000 years old. Well, thank you for the compliment.
Uh-huh. Yeah. You're human, right?
Gaia could tell you more.
Alright.
Anyways,
And I will, I guess I'll kind of look around for the, I don't know, where they kind of like spend their leisure time.
Yeah. Pretty much in the giant garden where they lived.
So the guards go with
There's
their
a
time
trough,
off.
some
Yeah,
hay.
yeah, like you seem like brown bagging it. Alright, my shift's over. I'm gonna go hang out in the garden. Eventually, you will notice a gorgeous creature head towards the garden. A very beautiful woman, very kind of elven in her features, but like even more exaggerated. Probably one of the most beautiful humanoid creatures that any of you have ever seen.
Oh, she's
She
hideous.
walks with like a almost like a perfect grace, as if she doesn't weigh a thing, as if she's just like moving along like light as a feather. Finally stops right before the garden officially begins. Hello. I have come to bring you to who you seek.
Ears perk up.
Would I even recognize what she is at all?
You've seen a nymph before, so yes.
Okay.
You're familiar with the idea of a nymph, but you've never met one before.
She's hideous.
Where's your fur? Put some clothes on. Put some skin on.
So yeah, I'll approach. I'll be like, kind of bow. Be like,
So, are we going to speak to Gaia or the next person up the chain?
Well, the reason it took so long is because we had to go up the chain, as it were, and I have been instructed to bring you to Gaia.
Lovely. It's been a long time.
Yes, that's my understanding. This way. She brings you back to one of the areas where you felt like there was a room, and you almost felt like you could almost see like a door frame, but yet there was no door, no handle. And as she approaches, it's just almost like vines start to recede.
As we're going along, I want to kind of fall into step beside Neria.
Okay.
Like, how are you holding up?
I don't know where we are. I don't want to touch anything. I can't understand
this has to be kinda
anything.
weird for you.
and Mizer's just like bouncing around, like.
So good to be home.
I'm
Butterflies and stuff.
going to cast tongues on Neria and then on myself.
Okay.
How long does it last?
An hour.
Nice.
That's not concentration.
That's good. All of a sudden, you understand everything that's going on around you.
Uh,
Words! So yeah, so it didn't look like vines, but this doorway starts to kind of form into what look like these kind of like vine shapes, and they start to recede and pull away. And this doorway sort of opens up. As you enter into the room, it is, though fully enclosed, it appears as if there is just like this moonlight kind of coming down from the ceiling into this receded well in the floor. The water is brimming up to just like an inch below the edge of the surface of this well, or the top of the well. It's reflecting this, again, the best description is like a moonlight. She gestures towards the well and kind of, or she gestures towards the well, looks at you all, dive right in.
I go right in.
I'll follow suit as well.
I will give her a nod and
Tristan slaps around.
It's one of those cool things where we step in, but then like it like come out this way, the other side.
Yeah, whether you go in head first or feet first, you come out
What?
like you go in, like either regardless of how you go in orientation wise, of head or
Belly
feet,
flop.
you're going down, but you come out horizontal.
Nice.
All of a sudden, you just walk out of this kind of hovering pool of water, like almost like Stargate kind of thing, like this rippling kind of fluid.
Yeah.
If you look behind you again, you see like the horizontal rippling kind of fluid with like these rune inscripted stones that have like this electrical energy current kind of connecting between each of the stones that's just hovering in midair. And the room that you enter into is... Actually, you don't enter into a room. Let me take that back. You enter into a giant actually green forested area. It's like deep forest, green, and Gaia is standing before you.
Okay. I feel like Jarrell like stops for a moment as almost as though he's trying to gain something as like
Puff out your chest.
no there's more inside me that's now being stimulated by the fact that Guy is there. Like suddenly like he's having trouble focusing as though like there's 1,000 thoughts all at once in his mind.
Yeah, Gaia is a sort of a. I always describe Gaia as kind of a gender neutral kind of creature. Has feminine and masculine kind of like has like its overall body type feels very manly but very slight, very feminine kind of facial features. I typically tend to refer to Gaia in like the tense of, or like the pronoun of like hims and he's and such, just when I'm talking. But really, Gaia is Gaia. Gaia is not he. Gaia is not she. He tends to wear, and currently is wearing long, flowing, almost like Greek-like robes. Also has like a greenish kind of hint to the skin. Tends to have golden flakes coming out of the green hair, but again changes its form often, but most commonly seen again with the greenish hued skin, the greenish hair with like the gold flaking in it, and just sort of is just standing there, like hands out to the side, palms open towards you all a little bit, not saying anything, waiting for you all to kind of get your bearings and fully absorb the environment and the situation.
Yeah, I'll like still kind of be staggering forward, with still. I look drunk almost. To what you guys would think.
It's flooded with emotion.
Not most of them aren't even my own. But yeah, and I would pretty much kind of stagger up and just kind of like collapse in a kneel before the Gaia.
Welcome.
As soon as Gaia speaks, then Miser will bound up. Hi!
Hello, Miser.
She knows me! Gaia knows my name.
Tristan,
Yours too.
Jarrell,
Everyone knows Jarrell.
Neria. Welcome, Dark Hounds. This day has been a long time coming. It's taken a lot more work than you might realize to bring you all here. Not necessarily to this place, but to this moment. Together, moving forward. What questions do you have for me? A great many, I'm sure, but we must start somewhere.
How many questions have we asked? 3. Really? Yes. Really? Yes. Have a nice day. No!
You've asked 3 questions. Really? Yes. Only 3? Yes. That's it? Yes.
I kind of sit down and look to Jarrell and Tristan.
Uh,
See who will speak first.
Jarrell didn't consider this a possibility in internal part. Yeah, that's he's having a little trouble focusing.
I'll go up to you and kind of like grab your arm, like, you okay?
Some of us, we're not called to be a druid. I'll call it like Gaia. Personally. And I, within me, contain the life force of many other druids. The spirits still heed that call. Oh. Oh. How fares the blight tree?
Blight tree is handled thanks to you and others.
I did the least of the work. As far as I can feel.
Yes, but you have much more work ahead of you.
I'll kind of like still fight, kind of stand back up.
While he's doing that, I'll ask, are you aware that the contest has begun again?
It is in its infancy, but it is trying to begin.
At least you know it's true.
Yes.
So far, everyone else does not believe us.
Well, I'm older than most, and time works differently here.
So,
Are you aware of the situation in the heavens?
For some time, yes. I felt the loss more than many.
Disconcerting just to hear it myself.
Well, it's not gentle news. But this is the world we now live in. We are trying to make the best of the situation. CERN is doing her best.
Which means you're aware that CERN will need some protection soon.
Well, it's been over 700 years since the fall of stars. And for convenient, or not conveniently, thankfully, for CERN's sake, Nahra was wounded quite severely during the ordeal and will not have the power for some time to ever attempt to pursue CERN. So she's not in any immediate threat. However, one should always be on guard.
Yes. So, the dragons. That's a thing I also learned.
Yes. I know you like to let everyone know how old you are, but you haven't been alive long enough to have suffered through the changing of ages on multiple occasions like I have. The dragons come and go roughly every 2 millennia. And it's time for their return, but the contest must commence.
Do you need a moment?
Yep. I'm just gonna sit down a little bit. I gotta meditate some.
We have actually been sent to seek your aid in restoring the natural balance. The contest proceeds as spring moves winter to summer. It all connects in a balance together. There is an entity that seeks to undo this balance and prevent summer's arrival. We are seeking your assistance in order to locate the key that he has taken so that the contest can commence and the world can move on.
Okay. So you've come in hopes I can steer you to Clovis's lair where he keeps Roger. Is that my understanding?
That is why I have come.
Okay. I can tell you that Clovis is one of the 4 undead kings and his lair is amongst the kingdom of the dead. He is in the land of the dead, which is in the most northern west portion of Merizian, in the dead winterlands. Would not be an easy task to go in and retrieve him.
I didn't know that it was more than a legend.
Well, most don't. It has thrived for so long on the belief that it was just a tale. But it is true. There are 4 undead kings. Clovis is one. Clovis is one of the oldest entities currently living in the world of Wrath. On the prime material, that is. He is very powerful. While Jarrell's been sleeping for most of the last for more than 3,000 years, Clovis has been actively pursuing any and all power he can obtain, moving towards this moment. He has a grudge, and he intends to see it through.
Well, his feelings aren't entirely one way. We have unfinished business with him as well. But the first priority is, of course, saving the world.
Save the cheerleader, save the world. Yes, well, you are not wrong. You need to free the key. There are 2 ways you can free the key. You can physically free him from Clovis's prison, or you can free him from this life, and then another will take his place. But that will prolong the proceedings. Though I'm not saying that is the course of action I recommend. That is a course of action that is possible. Once a key is nullified, I suppose you could say, another key will be born and rise up to take its place. It is just the course of the history, the course of the flow of fate, which is another reason why Clovis has gone out of his way to keep Roger alive. Because another will just rise up to take his place. But it is true. The only way to free Vrath is to release the dragons. And you need to get Roger or another key to open the remaining 9 gates. That way the contest can truly commence.
Which means we need to travel to a land none thought existed, and from which no one who's gone seeking it has returned.
Here.
Yes, many have gone seeking the land of the dead and the kingdom of the dead. Whatever you want to call it, but none have ever lived to tell the tale, that is for sure. But I can tell you this. Some are unliving that can tell the tale.
They're not much for talking.
True. Some can be persuaded. Little Miser, how have you fared in the world of the Prime, where you were born?
I don't like it at all. I have not fared well. I found that my goddess is dead, or slumbering. Another has taken its place. The world is in shambles. The men there are strange. They're cruel. I'm happy to be home.
Dinosaurs aren't even real dinosaurs.
But as you know, The spirit of the forest herself is dead.
They don't properly season their own.
I do know. It saddened me. It was a great loss.
There must be some way to restore her essence, and I'm hoping to find it.
Well,
Honestly, I was hoping you might be able to help, but that is a very selfish request with everything going on in the world right now. So I carry on.
to revive a god. I don't know of anything that could possibly do such a thing. I honestly have never even considered the idea of resurrecting a god.
I have faith that eventually I will find a way.
Well, then I wish you luck. I have no way of pointing you in that direction. But as long as you have faith, anything can be possible. Or that's what I'd like to believe.
I've met a dragon and I was sadly disappointed. It was not what I expected.
Well, dragons are long-lived, wise but proud creatures. And I can tell you that most don't consider themselves needing to explain themselves or their actions to lower creatures. They are the first and the favorite of Wrath, and they like to stand behind that. They will remind you of that at every turn. They are definitely proud, but they are also wise. They're very knowledgeable. I can only assume that the conversation that you had with the dragon that you met was mostly one-sided. No matter what you said to them, they weren't going to have a lot to say back. As you tend to not have conversations with flies that land on your hand, dragons consider you to, themselves not to have conversations with the people that they meet.
Yet they need us.
Well, Clovis made that happen. Normally the contest proceeds without a hitch. Normally the contest would have already begun and ended without anyone even knowing it existed. Typically the contest is happened unaware to the world and the transitions past, but...
Do you know of any way to even slow Clovis's power overall? Is there any way to neutralize that even long enough that we may have a chance against such an entity?
Well, Clovis is a Death Knight. Even your atypical Death Knight is extremely difficult to destroy indefinitely. For even if you believe you've defeated them in battle, they tend to be raised again back into undeath days later. The only way to truly end a Death Knight is through their god, for Death Knights are cursed by their own deity. Now, Clovis is in an interesting situation. The god that damned him isn't around, so they can't take that curse back.
So we must find a way to trap him.
He's in a strange loophole.
Perhaps put him into an endless slumber. Look over at you.
Sir. Claw.
And when I say that, I will look over you. If we can't beat him, perhaps there's some way we can trap him. Like an endless slumber.
If anything, life has taught me anything, it's that fire is also a good thing to do. If we can only find an endlessly burning fire to toss his corpse into. I'm sure there's a little imp somewhere who might owe us a favor.
I see
Which
you have
god
all attained your partners.
You know about Kabaris?
Of course, as part of the prophecy. You all have a soulmate, I suppose you could call it. It's part of the legend of the Dark Hounds.
Okay, yes. That little legend, is there any hint on how I can talk to Raklatona? He is a major douche canoe.
I'm not familiar with this canoe of douches.
Phrase I picked up in
Smells fresh.
That, I believe, is part of your journey, is finding a way to come to terms and see eye to eye with your other. It will just take time and effort. At least that is my understanding.
Which god did Clovis follow?
You followed the dragon god.
If the curse is still in effect, then power still flows to it. Now, when the other gods fell, their duties were absorbed by the surviving gods. So likely, there's still a chance that we could disrupt the curse. Still being, it would still be active if he's still a Death Knight, which means we still have a chance to disrupt it and cut off his flow of power. But, yeah. If it were easy, it would have been done already.
Too true. But not many have been aware of the situation for the last few thousand years. My place is here in this realm as the protector of the Feywild. Legend says they've been waiting for you. You are the ones that will bring balance back to Wrath. No pressure.